Hey, it's Donna Joy Asher, and today I want to go through some rookie mistakes. So I was going through my office, I was cleaning out some old notes from last year, and I came across a list of mistakes I was planning to write a blog post on it, and they were too good to throw out because it's all these rookie mistakes that I have made over the past few years, and I'm sure that there's many more to come, but I wanted to share my top 10 rookie mistakes with you now in the hope that you can avoid making them. So, rookie mistake number 1 is always check your links. So whenever you're creating a social media post or you're creating a blog post or an article or whatever else that you're doing, if you've got a link in there, don't assume that it's correct. Always copy and paste it out and check it before you send it off. Because even if you have got the correct link in there, sometimes there's a glitch in the background and maybe that link for some reason isn't working on your website, or it's been put somewhere else, information that you're after. So always check the link before you post it, before you post your article. So I have done that numerous times where I have put links out, and in emails when I put a link into Infusionsoft and then I have to actually go and put the link in, I've assumed that it's been live and it hasn't. And yes, sure, people can go and copy and paste that out of there, but it's one more step that they have to take for them to do what you want them to do, which means that there's an increased chance that they won't do it. So always check your links and make sure that your links are live. So rookie mistake number 2 is when you're recording a video, if you're using your camera, always put your camera in flight mode. Now, you don't want people ringing you when you're recording a video. Now, even if it's not a video, even if it's a video that's not going live, if it's just a video that you're recording and that you're going to edit later, if you're halfway through it and you've really got this momentum going, you've got this energy going, and then someone rings you halfway through it, right? Even if in the time that it takes you to reach out and like stop the call and then keep going, you've lost that momentum, you've lost that energy, and you've probably lost the next thing that you were going to say, and you've become distracted wondering who that was that rang you, or why did they ring them, or is it important, or do you need to be ringing them back? So if you're going to use your camera, sorry, if you're going to use your phone as a camera, put it onto flight mode before you do that. Now, rookie mistake number 3 is light reflecting off glasses. Now, it's more important using a ring light, and I know you've probably seen it when people have got their glasses on, they've got a ring light there, and you can see it because they've got this great big glowing ring in their glasses, and it's quite distracting when you're talking to someone, and quite frankly it looks a little bit unprofessional. Now, I have contacts now because of this. It was this that made me go and get contacts, because I was recording long webinars and I would go to edit them, and even if I was doing this trick that you can try where you actually just tilt your glasses up, so you put them so they're tilting down so they're not getting the reflection, I would throw my head back to talk, and then I would end up with the ring light reflecting in my lights, in my glasses at certain points during my video, and it would be distracting. So I went and got contacts, but if contacts aren't an option for you, or if something that you don't want to do, then just try tilting your glasses up like that, and then don't throw your head back, and you'll hopefully be able to stop the ring light from reflecting in your glasses. Okay, so rookie mistake number 4 is when you're starting to do videos or anything like that, make sure that the pets and the kids are happy. So give the dog a bone, do whatever it is that you need to do to stop them from barking or from being distracting while you're recording it. So I always do that if I'm going to do an afternoon, well, when I go take them for a long walk, but then I give them something tasty that they're going to be able to chew on for a couple of hours and keep them happy while I'm recording stuff, so that I'm not getting distracted halfway through. Now, this brings me to number 5, which is make sure you've got a clear background in your video. So obviously not as important when you're doing Facebook Lives and things like that, where people expect it to be a bit more real and organic. But if you're recording a professional video for a sales letter or for a webinar or something like that, make sure that the scene behind you is clear of distracting things. Now, I once gave my dog a bone, and then when I was editing my video later, I realized that my cute little puppy wanting to be in her mummy, had dragged her bone over and was actually sitting in the back corner of the video on the ground there. It was very visible the whole time, like playing with her bone, and totally took away from me and what I was saying and doing. I knew as soon as I looked at that video that everyone would just be watching the puppy and wouldn't be listening to me. So I had to record the whole thing again from scratch. So, rookie mistake number 6. If you're using a microphone, make sure it's plugged in and working. So I use these microphones when I'm doing professional videos, and it's connected by Bluetooth to my camera. And I once recorded a whole 1.5 hour webinar only to find out that I had the wrong bit plugged into each end. So the part that was the microphone was actually plugged in to the camera and vice versa. And so I had 0 sound, which was extremely let's just say painful when I went to edit it and realized that my whole afternoon had gone and I had this great video with zero sound. So number 7, make sure that your camera is fully charged. So if you're going to be doing videos and long videos, and even a fairly short video, like a 5-minute video, can take a lot of takes to get. If you're making mistakes through and you're trying to memorize it as you're going, you can often use a whole battery up. You can gobble through a whole battery in your camera. Obviously not, maybe not if you're using a phone, but if you're using a proper camera, then yes. So make sure that you've got a fully charged battery in your camera when you start, and I have a second one now ready to go. So if it does run out halfway through, I can just switch them over. I'm not having to wait for my battery to recharge before I can start again, which is always terrible because the flow, even if you edit it in, the flow is different. The lighting is different. Where you're sitting is slightly different. You look slightly different, and your tone, your energy is always different. So make sure that your camera is fully charged. Say that same day, it was just total disaster. That same day, I did the 1.5 hour recording, and then I think I had the dog. Then I did a recording and I had zero sound, and then I recorded it again, and the light changed. I didn't realize the sun was setting, and by the time I'd finished, it was totally pitch dark behind me, and so I had to record it again, and then my camera battery ran out halfway through. So yeah, it was a total disaster. Anyway, make sure your camera is fully charged. So number 8 is, don't think that you have to remember the whole thing. If you're doing a video, especially like a long video, if you're doing a webinar and using PowerPoint presentations, obviously that's not a problem because you can just read off the screen. It's really just your voice and the screenshot that you're getting. But if you are doing a webinar where it's you and you're talking, and even if you want to splice that in, don't think that you have to remember the whole thing. What you can do, and especially if you're doing any sort of video, is you can talk and then stop and freeze and then look down. So I actually have my cameras always sitting above my computer, and I have what I'm talking about on my computer. And then I can glance down. Now, if I'm just doing something like this, then I might just be glancing down, looking at my notes and keep talking. But if I'm doing something where I want to look like I've memorized it, I'll actually freeze, look down, look back up, and then keep talking. And when you're editing, it's really good to edit as you're coming out of a blink, and you can hardly tell. And if you get really good at freezing, people don't even really notice. The other thing to that is sometimes, like with my hands, I would freeze with my hands up, and then I would muck up and I couldn't remember my hands were. So now I'll talk with my hands and bring them back down and then bring them back up again. And that's a trick and a tip for being able to do longer videos where you don't have to remember the whole thing. You can just remember it paragraph by paragraph, or even really sentence by sentence if you're time poor. You don't have time to memorize the whole thing. Okay, rookie mistake number 9 is thinking that things have to be perfect. They do not have to be perfect, okay? And in fact, if you think about it, perfection is an illusion. And the reason that it's an illusion is because we all have a different opinion of what perfect is. And my idea of perfection might be different to somebody else's idea of perfection. And in fact, somebody else's idea of perfection to me might not be good enough, and vice versa, which means that perfection is just an illusion. It doesn't actually exist. And what we do is we use perfection as an excuse not to put ourselves out there, because really, if we dig deep, it's not that the thing isn't perfect that we're worried about. What we're worried about is it, even when we think it's perfect, other people aren't going to think it's good enough, and they're going to laugh at us, or they're going to point fingers. And it's really about rejection and not feeling good enough. It's never about perfection. So perfection is for scared people. It's a barrier that they use to hide behind, to stop them from having to put themselves out there and to get things done. And I've spoken to people when I'm on coaching calls who have been using perfectionism for years as a reason not to get themselves out there. And they're exactly where they were years ago. They're still stuck and struggling. Now, sure, you may not be as good now at things as you're going to be in years to come, but unless you actually get out there and start doing them, you're never going to improve. I mean, you don't expect to go from never having swum before to being an Olympic medalist the first time you hop in the pool, do you? No, you get in there and you learn how to swim, and you train and you get better at it, and you get better and you get faster and you get faster and your techniques get better, and you bring in coaches and all this stuff to keep getting you better and better and better. The same thing in our business. We've got to start somewhere so that we can get better. So you just got to get out there. When you first start doing lives, it can be a freaky experience, all right? So, I mean, you can do them on your Facebook fan page because there's a good chance that no one's going to see them, right? Because Facebook doesn't really show that to many people. And especially if you don't have a lot of people that have liked your fan page at that point of view, practice on your fan page. The other thing to do if you're really freaking out at the thought of doing something like that is to stick something over the part of your camera, over your phone, I'm just going to show you if people are watching, because you can get distracted by people coming in and out. And they come in, you get really excited, and you start to be second guessing what you're talking about, and then they leave, and then you just get totally devastated that they've left and that you weren't interesting enough for them to hang around with. When in reality, they may have just realized that the oven is on fire, and that's why they've raced off. Okay. So number 9, thinking stuff has to be perfect. And that kind of blends into rookie mistake number 10, which is letting the universe get in the way. When you've got something to do that you're really dreading and you're putting off, the universe will get in the way. And it's not that the universe is really getting in the way, it's that you're letting it get in the way. All of a sudden, things that really are inconsequential become so important, and stuff that you have to deal with right now, rather than get that thing done. Okay? You need to get the money-making activity stuff done. You need to be putting yourself out there. You need to be turning up as that leader. You need to be on social media, showing up with a person with a voice, what you do, what you stand for, so that people who are looking for you, who want you to help them, can find you. And if you don't get around to doing that because, you had to vacuum the house, or you had to run and get milk, or you had to do this, or you had to do that, then that's all you're ever going to be doing for the rest of your life, is vacuuming the house and running and get milk and doing everything like that. You're not going to be growing or progressing your business. So make sure that you take control of your schedule, and you don't let other people take control of your schedule. All right. So you take control of your schedule, and don't procrastinate. Just get stuff done. Just sit down in the morning with those things that you don't want to do and get them done first. And when they're out of the way, you're going to feel amazing. So don't let the universe get in the way, which is really, don't let your own head get in the way of your success. Okay? Don't let yourself talk yourself out of why you need to get this stuff just done. Just do it. Don't think about it, just doing it. And when you're just doing it and doing it and doing it every day, over the next few months, over the next year, over the next few years, it's all going to pay you back far more than the effort and the pain and the discomfort that you went through. So believe me when I tell you that it's worth it. Okay, so I hope that you've got something out of my 10 rookie errors. Okay, so they were: always check your links. Put your phone in flight mode if you're using it to record. Watch out for the light reflecting off your glasses. Okay, give the dog a bone. Make sure the kids are happy. Make sure the background behind you in the videos is not distracting from what you're doing. Make sure your microphone is plugged in if you're using one, that it's working. Make sure your camera battery is fully charged before you start. Don't think you have to remember the whole thing. Don't get caught up in perfectionism, and don't let the universe get in the way. All right, you guys have an amazing